Out there, beyond the developed world, there are some truly alternative diets.
It's green. No, don't.
Strange techniques for diagnosing illness.
That really is burning my...
Brutal ways of healing. And very different ways of dealing with pain.
I mean, that is absolutely amazing, isn't it?
My name is Chris van Tulleken, and this is my brother, Xand. We're both doctors, and we're also identical twins. Trained in tropical medicine, we are ideally suited to go and experiment with life beyond the reach of paracetamol and Prozac. And to find what, if anything, our world can learn from an older way of doing things. This part of our journey takes us to eastern Siberia, as we try to work out why the Chukchi people almost never die of heart attacks. We're subjected to their terrifying hunter-gatherer existence and are forced to confront some long-held prejudices about whale hunting. My brother Xand and I have come to the tundra of northern Russia. We're heading for the Arctic Ocean.
I think it feels to me like the biggest place I've ever been.
We're in a Vezdehod, a Russian army personnel carrier that is one of the few vehicles that can cope with the changing surface of the open tundra. For most of the year, this place is an icy, frozen wasteland. But for 5 brief months between May and now, September, it's a big, cold swamp.
There's absolutely no one here at all, is there? I've never seen... There are no tracks, no paths. There's nothing. Except us grinding along in a tank.
But there are people. We're going to spend some time with the indigenous inhabitants, the Chukchi. It's frozen for so much of the year here that the Chukchi practice no agriculture and they cultivate no vegetables. Almost all they eat is what they get from the sea, fish and sea mammals. A diet consisting almost entirely of fat, meat and fish sounds incredibly bad for you, but medical research suggests the Chukchi are very healthy. We've come to try and find out why. 12 time zones away from Britain, this region of Russia is called Chukotka. After 3 flights, 6 hours in a truck, and 12 bum-crunching and ear-numbing hours in the tank, we finally arrive at our destination. This is the Chukchi town of Vankarem. Vankarem has electricity and central heating, which is rather surprising for somewhere 200 kilometers from the nearest village and 320 kilometers away from the nearest proper hospital. But this area, right next to Alaska, was strategically vital in the Cold War, and the distant site of a now abandoned military listening post explains the need for the power station. Since the collapse of the Soviet Union, the area has been neglected by Moscow. But fortunately, the region's current governor, Chelsea Football Club owner Roman Abramovich, has stepped in and ensures that this and many other Chukotkan communities have fuel and housing. But the Chukchi have lived in this place without modcons for centuries, and the reason they chose here over any other stretch of this barren coastline is because of this. It's a walrus haul-out. In late summer, thousands of them come here to build their strength for their southern migration, and for the Chukchi, their arrival means one thing: food.
That must be 1,000 walruses. Look at that, they're fighting.
During the winter months, the sea is frozen and nothing lives here. It is only now, during the short summer, when the sea is free from ice, that there is anything for the Chukchi to hunt. The race to get enough meat to survive the winter before the ice returns in November is all anyone is thinking about. We're the guests of the village hunting brigade, who are responsible for amassing that stockpile of meat. At lunch on our first day, Sergei, a member of the brigade, wants us to try the Chukchi delicacy, walrus. But it's not cooked, it's fermented.
Oh my lord, I just got away from bed. Can you smell that? Oh yeah, now I can. Oh yeah. That is an eye-wateringly bad smell. I have smelled this smell before in bits of the hospital. It's green. This is not the colour that a walrus comes out of the ocean. This is the colour of people's legs before we chop them off because they've gone rotten. It looks about 1,000,000 times worse, and it smells 1,000,000 times worse than I could possibly imagine meat could. I don't think I can do this. One of the hardest things I've ever done. Everything in me wants to put this down and go and wash my hands and have a bath and... Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my lord. Can you swallow it? Oh. Oh my god. Oh. It's gone though. It's gone, I did it. Right. Oh god, that's weird. I don't think I can do it. Well, I can't get it out. Get it. Oh, I feel a real sense of triumph for having done that. This is the most unusual thing I've ever had by a really long way.
To feed the village, the brigade normally kill about 30 good-sized walruses every year. But that is only enough if they also manage to fill their quota of 2 grey whales. Each of these vast animals provides 10 to 15 times as much food as a walrus. They've only killed one so far, and with just a month of the summer to go, it's more than likely that we're going to have to go whale hunting, an activity that, along with most of the rest of the world, we find repugnant. Our hosts for our stay here are Fedya, one of the hunters, and his family. Most meals consist of bits of frozen fish and walrus, seal or whale.
Glass.
They seem to thrive on a diet composed almost entirely of fish and meat.
Look at Timor!
Our first step in trying to work out just how the Chukchi stay healthy without their greens is to check the hunting brigade's blood chemistry, specifically their blood lipids and cholesterol.
Because of its joints. And how old are you, Fedya?
41.
While they all eat some processed food, most of them eat oily fish and either seal, walrus or whale every day.
HDL is 1.32.
Excellent.
Yeah, so that's all very good.
4 of the hunters, Fedya, Vladik, Sergei and Tullek, are all in excellent health. It's far from conclusive, but many scientists believe it's the omega-3 oils in the Chukchi's broadly sea-derived diet that ensure their blood is high in good fats and low in bad fats. Sasha, the brigade leader, is tested last.
His good cholesterol's a bit lower than everyone else's.
His blood results are not bad, but they're not as good as the others.
Ratio 6.
Since he claims to eat as much walrus and whale as they do, the result is surprising. It's a mystery that needs further investigation, and it also inspires us to dig a little deeper ourselves.
Well, what do you think about my idea of I go on their diet for a bit?
Well, I don't think that's going to be enough because their diet involves quite a lot of, not a huge amount of processed food, but a fair bit. And
Right, why don't I do a traditional Chukchi diet and only eat things that were available here 100 years ago?
yeah, no, that's a good idea. But I think you're going to find that unpleasant.
What are you going to do?
I'll just eat the normal food?
No, you won't.
Well, there isn't very much food
no,
here.
I think you've got to. No, I think then if I'm going to do an extreme Chukchi diet, I think you've got to do the converse, which is a really rotten diet with all the processed food you can get your hands on.
Oh, I
think you really can't then eat oily fish, sea mammal.
I think I've got the easy side of that. Let's just see who's feeling happier in a fortnight.
Before we start our experiment, we need a baseline level for our own blood chemistry. Since we are clones of each other, eating much the same food, our cholesterol levels are similar, at 4.1 and 4.27. In 2 weeks' time, we will re-measure our cholesterol and, if we've stuck to our regimes, any changes should be entirely down to diet. Xand pays a visit to the store in search of the highly processed foods that he will be eating for the next 2 weeks. This village shop is the only source of food you don't have to kill yourself for 240 kilometres.
So I need some of the potato powder there.
A cargo ship delivers an annual supply each summer, and occasionally a passing helicopter or Vezdehod will bring further fresh supplies.
Da, da, I da. Yeah, just a big like that.
They've got loads of sweets and biscuits, but they've been out of fresh potatoes and onions for over a month. While Xand raided the shop, I raided Fedya's deep freeze. And we sit down to very different breakfasts.
So for breakfast I've got a frozen salmon head, a big chunk of reindeer, and whale skin and blubber. All of it's frozen and raw. So this is the ultimate sea mammal Atkins diet.
I've got a bowl of semolina mixed with butter, salt and sugar. I don't think it is the absolute antithesis of what Chris is eating.
Really, honestly, it's like eating an old, cold, used condom. The village of Vankarem is barely a kilometre from a walrus haul-out, a staging post on the animal's southern migration, and a vital food supply for the village. They are licensed to kill 50 every year, but they have to be careful.
Копьями. В отличие от огнестрельного оружия, копьем, когда бьешь, моржи не так сильно пугаются.
At one time, the Soviet government outlawed the use of spears, believing that guns killed the walruses quicker. But the noise of gunfire made the walruses panic and rush back to the water. Many of the young were crushed in such stampedes.
Они возвращаются назад. Практически не происходит никакой паники, нету давки. Очень аккуратненько все.
Vladik is sharpening his spear because 2 lone walruses have been spotted apart from the main herd. This is a perfect opportunity to add 2 to the larder while running no risk of panicking the rest.
Сейчас я ему хочу носик поправить, чтобы она ходила как по маслу.
We've examined the Chukchi blood chemistry, but we want to find out more. These body monitors will log the hunter's heart rate, activity levels and energy expenditure.
Okay, is that okay?
The 2 700-kilo walruses are resting a couple of 100 yards from the main herd. Here, they can be killed without disturbing the others.
Они будут где-то в 2-3 метрах сзади от нас.
Chukchi custom is to wake a sleeping walrus, as polar bears do, before killing it. Vladik drives his spear through the animal's body into its heart. While slower than a bullet, death is remarkably swift. His brother Sergei has dispatched the other walrus.
пасти, но мне надо кушать, собакам корм. Спасибо, что ты дал себя добыть. Вот. Благодарю море, предков, что помогли мне.
The hunters insist we are anointed with the walrus blood. Without gutting, the corpses putrefy quickly, so they're dragged back to the village immediately. Each should provide 200 kilos of meat and 300 kilos of blubber. Most of it goes straight into the deep freeze, but Vladik shows me how they prepare the extraordinary fermented walrus delicacy.
We're tying up with a bit of itself in order to set it to one side and ferment it.
This 40-kilo pillow will stay uncovered in a cool room until it's perfect, somewhere around 4 months. We, thank God, will be long gone. Today's picnic lunch consists of a wide selection of boiled walrus offal. This offal is a vital source of vitamins and minerals, but rather an acquired taste.
Kidney here, some intestine, blubber, a bit of heart.
Лондон возьмете с собой? London.
London? There are no Chukchi restaurants in London actually, but I don't know. I wonder if we could have a chain. Mukchi.
Да, мы чукчи.
Mukchukchi.
The next step in our attempt to investigate the health of the Chukchi is to download the data from the body monitors we placed on the hunters.
Who's that? Sasha's.
The monitors have logged heart rate, motion, and calories burned.
If he's burning 4,500 calories a day, I think that's about the same. That would be about the same as an Olympic rower would burn on a normal day's training. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Monstrous. That's a massive amount. Yeah. You know, that's almost double what someone who plods around the office in London uses.
Having just discovered how fit they are, we aren't all that surprised when later that day the hunting brigade announced a sort of village Olympics. The prizes are literally first come, first served.
Disgrace for the family once more.
We can't throw and we can't run, but we did both row for Oxford.
Молодец! Наверное, он вас обставит.
Well, look at that girl go.
However, even at our special subject, we struggle.
So far you're looking at last and dead last over here.
Joint last, I prefer to think of it as.
We retire to bed with shattered egos, convinced that we're living with sporting superheroes. Today is Saturday, the weekend, and the hunting brigade are not so worried about their meat quota that they forgo all leisure. So we're off for a couple of days fishing. The estuary of the River Van Karem flows into the sea just next to the village, but we're going upstream about 20 kilometres to a prime fishing site.
Freezing. It's absolutely freezing here. It really is very cold indeed. My hands are cold in the gloves and they're constantly getting wet.
Once the nets are set, Vladik busies himself collecting tiny crowberries.
Крис, вот такую горку надо. Yeah.
Traditionally, these berries were used to relieve stomach problems.
One of the main problems with my traditional diet is the complete absence of fibre. I haven't had a crap in days. So I think this mulch of seeds and skin should help.
Черный язык.
Am I looking like I've spent the night drinking cheap claret?
It's time to check the nets. But for some inexplicable reason, Sergei has left behind the pump for the rubber dinghy.
I don't believe for 1 second, Freddy, that you don't have a pump.
Once the dinghy is inflated, Xand has the job of collecting the fish.
Yes! Right.
Селедка.
Got him.
Is that the first fish you've ever caught?
Пусть поправит сетку.
Got him! Yeah!
For no very good reason, I feel almost proud of you.
That is a proper fish.
In these temperatures, however, it's a job that's impossible to do for long, unless you're Chukchi.
How are your hands?
My hands are numb. I've got pain in them. It's horrible.
Are Sergei's hands warm?
Say it again.
Try not to look inappropriate.
Yeah. Hot.
Hot.
Lovely. Lovely hands.
Really?
Yeah, really nice.
Sergei. Yeah, it's really lovely and warm. I mean, I'm standing here on the bank, rubbing my hands together, and my hands are numb and really cold to touch. Sergei is rummaging around in the water with a fish, and his hands are boiling hot.
He has what's called the hunter's reflex. Unlike Xand's, his fingers stay warm and nimble because the blood vessels of his forearms periodically dilate to allow more hot blood to flow into his hands. This reflex is a vital asset for Arctic hunter-gatherers.
4 fish.
Mama and Papa? They're the same?
No. Дедушка и бабушка.
The different fish.
Look at that.
It seems... Oh no! Oh no! After 2 days of piscatorial persecution, we return laden with fish and rather smug to Vankarem, only to discover that a terrible disaster has occurred.
Вчера пролетел вертолет, и после этого пролетело еще 4 самолета. 2 самолета военных, и потом еще пару прошли. И прошли очень низко. Создали просто вот за все это время ужасную панику здесь. И погибло здесь очень много, десятки моржей. Ну, это может даже и сотни. До сотни может. Ну, никто не может сейчас посчитать, но мы увидим результат. Вот сейчас нашли, мы видим очень много трупов моржей. Некоторые.
Gradually, the corpses of the dead walruses are washed ashore. My first thought is that this will be a bonanza for the village, but the walrus's gut bacteria spoil the meat within hours. There's nothing the hunters can do except remove the rotting bodies from the beach. They see themselves as the walrus's guardians and feel they've failed to protect them. Thousands of walruses have fled the area and scores have died. It's a terrible, wasteful killing that has also jeopardized the village's meat stockpile. The next day, the weather's turned really bad and the hunters are unable to hunt. The stampede has had a further unforeseen effect, and the brigade have called an emergency meeting.
Ну вот тут вылазят больные эти худые.
Духлые.
Дохлые. Вчера я ходил, смотрел.
Самый последний.
Тут один лежал сочно на песчаном. Я смотрю, там 2 лежат, но вчера я смотрел, немощные уже. Все.
Apparently, after the stampede, only the weakest returned to the haul-out. The rest, the fittest and the fattest, have continued on their migration southward. The brigade will need more of these thin walruses, but they're running out of time. Winter is fast approaching.
12-15 будет. Все. 15 моржей где-то будет. Ну, 16 там. Плюс-минус 1. На воде это, в принципе, реально.
The next morning, in spite of the poor weather, Sergei orders his men out to sea to hunt walrus. This, rather than spearing them on the beach, is how they usually kill them, but in the rough seas, it's much more dangerous.
They've been quite reluctant to do this. I had the slight feeling that we're doing this because we're down on the quota, rather than because this is what they normally do in these conditions. The way we're doing this just smacks slightly of desperation, doesn't it?
Fedya spares a mother and her pup. He's after a lone walrus.
Everything looks like walruses now. Every wave, I think I see a walrus.
The walrus turns to attack. The harpoon is not meant to be fatal. It's primarily to tire the walrus until it can be brought close enough to the boat to be cleanly shot. A single bullet to the head kills the animal instantly. Sasha's pleased. They got what they came for.
Well, that was absolutely terrifying, wasn't it?
I have to say, I wasn't frightened at all until we started doing it, and that was the most exciting thing I think I've ever done.
I thought it was going to get in the boat.
Yeah.
So, one walrus down. But if they don't get a whale, they simply haven't got time to kill as many walruses as they need. Over the next few days, the weather stays foul. We're stuck indoors with little to do but eat, which is okay for some.
What does that taste like?
It's really nice. It's like all the sponginess and tastiness of a pancake with all that nice crispy fattiness of something that's been deep fried. It's lovely.
Well, I'm quite enjoying mine as well. Ow. Ow, mine bit me. And that's the best bit of it.
I think after this I'll just want to go to bed.
Do you feel bloated?
Yeah,
I bet you do.
yeah, I feel really full. It's quite like I look at the walruses now when I walk around after lunch and I go and look at that walrus. I think, yeah, I know how you feel, mate. I just feel a bit.
Right, whereas I look at the walrus and think, I feel fine. I feel active. I don't feel bloated. Nor am I hungry, actually.
Yeah, I'm fit to burst. I'm already burst.
Finish it.
I want to go lie down.
If we're going to do this, if we're going to do this for a matter of days, you've got to push it.
No, I can't. I simply can't eat anymore. There's no point in saying I can push it. I'm full to here. I cannot do it. You can't just have the arbitrary endpoint of a clean plate, because a clean plate, well, then you can just say, well, finish what's on the table.
What, we're going to have the arbitrary endpoint of you not suffering in that case?
No, we can have the arbitrary endpoint of me about to be sick, and that's it. That's the end. That's enough. It's not an indulgence competition. It's just a cholesterol experiment, that's all.
The next day, the bad weather continues. The hunters spend the morning repairing an outboard engine. Sasha invites us to lunch with his family.
Сосиски хочешь? Yes. What are they?
Бери.
And it quickly becomes clear why his blood results weren't quite as good as the others. He admits his favourite food is a brand of American hot dog that is full of carbohydrates, saturated fat, and salt. Do you prefer the beef and the hot dogs to whale and walrus?
Нет, просто проще готовить. А для китятины надо время, чтобы ее приготовить. Но иногда бывает, времени нет. И это быстро просто. Банку открыл, бухнул, пожарил или там перекусил и опять на работу.
So, convenience foods. And when his wife Lada offers us cake, it's no wonder his blood results aren't so good.
А вообще, жена меня избаловала, если честно, пищей. Она очень любит готовить, печь булочки, там, пирожочки, такое, вот, кексы.
It's probably this change from a traditional sea mammal-rich diet to modern high-carbohydrate processed foods that is adversely affecting his cholesterol level. We're woken at 5:30 a.m. by the hunters. Their luck has changed. It's sunny and the sea is calm. This may be the last chance the brigade have to get the whale they so need before the winter sets in. Grey whales in this region aren't endangered, but hunting them is still regulated, and they are slaughtered for the consumption of the village only. Neither the whale meat nor blubber can be sold for profit. Within half an hour, we spot our prey. The grey whale is one of the largest animals on the planet.
Is that whale breath? It's the sort of foul, putrefying smell of whale breath. I think we just drove through one of the fountains.
Grey whales can dive 150 meters and stay under for 15 minutes. We wait. These huge beasts spend the winter off the coast of Mexico and the summer up here. A 22,000-kilometer round trip that they make every year for their 60-year life. A harpoon is thrown. The buoy shows it's a hit. This float not only shows the whale's position, it also prevents it from diving deeply. With 5 floats attached, the whale soon becomes exhausted. The final harpoon attaches a barrel that ensures the whale doesn't sink when it dies. The hunters will finish off the whale with high-powered rifles. Aware of the sensitivities of most of the rest of the world, they don't want us to film this. When the camera is switched off, 5 shots from close range are fired into the whale's brain. Death appears to be swift.
It seemed to be quite interesting to look at everyone's heart rate, because it must have been... And Sasha just sort of went, adrenaline, adrenaline.
Oh. It's such a taboo thing though, isn't it?
What? Well, I kind of once all the harpoons were in, he sort of turned around and joked, and then I was smiling, but I realised I'd just been sort of sitting in the boat, holding tight.
The carcass is towed back to the village. It takes a Vezdehod and a tractor to drag the whale ashore. This is a female that measures 9 meters long. The hunters estimate it will produce 4 tons of meat and 4 tons of blubber, enough to feed the whole village for 2.5 months.
Chris, look at this one. It's like alien. They're sort of coming out.
The whale's skin is an ecosystem in itself.
Oh, that is horrible.
From barnacles that embed themselves and hitch a ride, to the most revolting whale-sized lice.
It's a whale flea. The thing's absolutely covered in these horrible things.
With the help of a tractor, the skin and blubber are removed and cut up into 50-kilo slabs, enough for a family. After that, the intestines are removed, all 90 meters of them. Weirdly, nothing will touch whale intestines, not even a scavenging gull. For 2 doctors, this dissection is like a fantastic giant anatomy lesson.
This is a 50-kilo whale heart.
Yeah, it probably is.
Is this like, it's not quite as much as me, but almost.
The heart is in extremely good condition.
What is interesting is that were I to take a decent aged human and run my finger along their coronary artery, there'd be a lot of rubbish along the walls, and these are completely smooth. Now, I don't know how old the whale is, but I'd say those are remarkably smooth coronary arteries, which is, I suppose, what you'd expect from an animal that eats only fish.
The rest of the day is spent converting 9 tons of whale into 3 months of food. The day has profoundly altered my feelings about hunting whales.
That was one of the most exhilarating days of my entire life. I'd be lying if I said that at any point today I felt that what we were doing was more morally wrong than killing or eating any of the things that I do at home. I'm no hunter. I don't enjoy hunting in England. I barely go fishing, but it was completely exhilarating today, and I really felt it was so much more than good sport. It was ethical and sustainable way of providing food for an otherwise completely isolated village of 400 people. And when I said to them, I mean, they clearly enjoyed themselves, and I said, would you do this more if the quota were lifted? And they looked very puzzled and said, well, no, because we don't need more than 2 whales a year.
We're near the end of our time here. In an attempt to understand the effects of the indigenous diet, for 10 days I've eaten a traditional Chukchi menu of fish, whale blubber, seal liver and walrus meat, with a bit of reindeer for variety. While Xand has eaten a modern Russian diet that's broadly come out of a tin and is high in refined carbohydrates. It's time to find out what effect the diets have had on our blood.
It's 120 over 60, so that's fine. So my blood tests before were what you'd expect for a healthy 29-year-old without being very exceptional. This is my book. Did you write them in my book? Yeah, CBT. Here you go. Cholesterol 4.27. Look at that. Ooh. So a considerable fall in your total cholesterol, a rise in your good cholesterol, and a ratio of 2.8.
Okay, so that's really interesting. So my ratio, which is the important bit for determining cardiovascular risk, has fallen from 4.1 to 2.8.
All right, we'll do me.
In 10 days, the ratio between my good cholesterol and my bad cholesterol has improved by 30%.
Well,
Oh, that is interesting, yeah. Okay,
so my total cholesterol is basically unchanged. My good cholesterol has fallen.
your ratio's got considerably worse.
Yeah.
And in the same 10 days, Xand's has got 30% worse.
I mean, I am pretty impressed because I would normally regard cholesterol as something which is pretty hard to change with diet.
And what it's saying is that if you do something extreme for 10 days, you can have a really big effect on your lipids, which is classically something we think of as being difficult to change. For patients with lipid problems, we say this requires a lifelong change. So to change these things positively, you perhaps don't need such a big effort as to eat only sea mammal for 10 days. The secret of this astonishing result lies in the fat of the creatures that live in the sea. From oily fish to whales, they're all full of the omega-3 oils that are so much better for our cholesterol balance than land-based animal fats.